Okay, so I want to go over some animation effects that we've built into the site, specifically on some of the blocks that you may run into while you're adding content to the site. So currently, things like the heading block or the paragraph block or image block have a new options panel that will appear on the right-hand side of the screen when the block is selected, where you can set an animation effect. So here we have an animation effect of slide and right. And we can change that by clicking this drop down and select a variation of that animation. We can have it fade in or slide in from the left. And we can choose that on a block by block basis for each block as we're adding it to the page. You'll also notice that there are two additional fields. There's an animation speed field. Now you normally wouldn't have to make any sort of modifications. There's already a default value that will work for most use case scenarios, but if you want the animation to perform a little bit faster or a little bit slower, you can enter a whole number such as 1, 2, or 3 into this field to determine how many seconds that animation will run for. Additionally, there is an animation delay field. Again, don't need to normally put anything in here. There's a default value which works really great. But if you want to delay an animation to prevent it from running for a set number of seconds, such as 1, 2, or 3, you can go ahead and add a whole number to this field as well. We'll see the similar option here for paragraphs, so we can have it sort of fade in up. And again, once you've selected an animation style, these two additional fields will appear, and you can change those settings, but you normally won't have to. Images will also have this setting here, animation effects, exactly like the other blocks. Images are unique that they also get a transition effect. So in the transition effect, we have three options: float, grayscale, or reverse grayscale. These effects trigger when the user hovers over the image. So for the grayscale effect, the image will appear as black and white on the front end of the site to the user, and once they hover over the image, it will then transition to a full color photo. And reverse grayscale is the opposite. It starts out as a full color image, and then when the user hovers over it, it will transition to a grayscale image. So there's some different options here that we can do for our images to add some slight effects to those. The other block that can be modified with some effects is the button block. When selected, you'll see this change hover effect option. Currently, this is the button hover effect, so it was set to float, but there is a variety of options in here that you can change the button. So if we want the button to grow when the user hovers over it, we can select this hover effect. And let's go ahead and look at the front end of the website and see what happens when the page loads now. So as we load in, we can see this paragraph is fading in from the bottom. This heading is sliding in from the left. This image here is a grayscale image until I hover over it, and now we're seeing the full color version. And then down here, the button, if I hover over the button, we get that grow effect. So these options will allow you to add various elements of animation to the page content as you're adding it, building out content on your site and adding it to your various pages. This creates dynamic movement on the page and can help create some interest in the user as things are kind of flying in and moving around. Overall, less is more when it comes to animation. You don't want to overwhelm your user by having too much animation on the page. Um, Animation can be used in a strategic way to highlight things or bring attention to specific elements. But again, not every single element on a page needs to have an animation effect, and nor should it. It would becomes overwhelming for the user. So again, less is more, but this will give the ability for you as the content creator to go in and add that dynamic movement and that animation to the page and sort of bring some life to the page for your users.